What's up, guys? It's Anbu, and today we're going to be predicting the MLB Divisional standings. On our opening day today, later on tonight, it's Yankees Giants. But yeah, we're going to be predicting how the divisions are going to pan out. And remember, this is my opinion. Yours is probably different than mine. So let me close that out. But yeah, if you disagree, let me know in the comments what you agree with. Let me know what you disagree with. And let's get into it. I'm going to go East, Central, and West for both conferences. So I'm going to start with the AL because that's all right here. I think Blue Jays are going to win it. I just don't trust any of the other teams in it. I trust Vladdy. I know they lost a lot, so it makes me kind of hesitant. But they still have you Savage. The pitching staff's injured to start the season, but it's also a 162 game year, so. And good teams can find a way around it. Alright. Second place, I have the Boston Red Sox. I just think they're the second best team in that division. And with the Rays and Orioles in it, which I kind of just gave away my third ranking, so I'll put that up in a second. But, with the Rays and Orioles, that should be easier games for the Red Sox. Yankees is always a good game with Red Sox. And I just think Blue Jays are going to come out just on top. I think Red Sox still make the wild card. I think Toronto's just a division winner. Next, I have Yankees. And Yankees, I think Red Sox will also. I think it'll be very close between these three. Wouldn't be surprised if all three of these are playoff teams. But at the end of the day, Yankees, I gave the edge to the Red Sox just because I think the Red Sox are more likely to make the playoffs, and if one of those teams is to miss, it'll most likely be the Yankees, in my opinion. Next, I have the Orioles. And I just trust the core with Gunnar Henderson and Pete Alonso more than I trust the Rays, which obviously come in last in this division. But I just trust Baltimore more. I think Rays might take a bit of adjusting coming back to a major league stadium, if they're even back to a major league. And then if they're in a minor league, like when they play power-hitting teams like the Yankees, Judge is going to send that to fucking Jupiter. Alright, next is the NL East. And I have the Philadelphia Phillies coming in first. A lot of people are high on the Mets, which I'm not. I'll come on and say first, if you don't know, I am a Phillies fan, but I'm just not sold on the Mets. I don't think they'll win the division. I don't trust Soto. He pretty much only hits home runs in meaningless scenarios. There are some meaningful ones. I'm not discrediting that. I just don't trust Soto and Lindor alone. And their pitching staff, McLean, whatever his name is, the one that was in the WBC, he was the starter for both the U.S.'s losses, if that doesn't say enough. I just don't trust him. So that brings me to my second place team in the division, the Atlanta Braves. I think Acuna is one of the better right fielders in the league. They still have Chris Sale, who's ironic to have both done there, but that's the point. I trust Acuna more than I trust Soto. And In third place, I have the New York Mets. I think, just because with the rest of the division, I think the Marlins and Nationals are not going to compete with that. I think they're just good enough to maybe squeak into playoffs, but if I had to pick, I would pick the Phillies and Braves. I did do my predictions yesterday for ranking every team. If you haven't checked that out, it should be linked at the end of the video. Next, I'll go with the Washington Nationals. I trust them more. They have James Wood. They have C.J. Abrams. I don't think they have Gore anymore at pitching, which is a big hit to them, but I just don't trust Miami. I don't think Otto Lopez, if that is their starting shortstop, I don't think he's going to be enough to get them to fourth in this division. I mean, could they make trades? Yes, but I'm going off current rosters where I think it'll end up, because Miami need to make a lot of trades to get up there. Alright, next we're going to go to the AL Central, and winning that division, I'm going to go with the Detroit Tigers. Between Taylor Skubal, Gleyber Torres, I just think they're the most trustworthy team in that division. And it's a relatively easy division. The White Sox, the Guardians. Speaking of Guardians, I have them as my number 2 place team in the division. Because I think Tigers are winning, obviously, and then the rest of the division is weaker. And I think this division will have the worst team in baseball this year. So I'll get that out of the way. Minnesota Twins. I think they will be the worst because who do they have outside of Byron Buxton? And I've heard a lot of rumors that he will be traded this season. I don't know how true those are. But just with that, I know he said he wants to stay there, but he's also been disgruntled with the organization after they refused to shut down trade talks. So I think with all that coming together, they're just going to end up being the worst team in baseball. Now on to my third place team, I have the Kansas City Royals. And I have that because I think they're better than, obviously, the Twins and White Sox. Bobby Witt is a defensive menace. And he can hit. And they have, I think it's Bubic and someone, they have another pitcher, I forgot his name. But they have some pretty good starters, and they have actually Phillies' old reliever, Matt Strong, good reliever. I just trust the Royals more than I trust Chicago, which I have in my 4th place team. I think they have a bright future if they play their cards right. Like I think I said that yesterday. They have Murakami. Well, I'm talking about Philly, but actually not really. He's more of he's a power hitter, which you don't always need power. Sometimes base hits win you baseball games, but at the end of the day, good for Chicago to have their guy. Alright, on to the NL Central. Oh, pretty easy division too. Brewers came out on top of it last season. I don't think so. Actually, I think Brewers will come out on top again. It's another relatively easy division. Granted, they had 3 playoff teams, but I think they just haven't really lost much to my knowledge. And they haven't lost as much as the second place team, the Chicago Cubs. I wanted to put the Cubs number 1, but I just think they lost too much to win the division. I mean, if they do win the division, good for them. But I just don't trust them enough to win it with what they lost, what they got back. Milwaukee just hasn't really lost much, to my knowledge. Like I said, I could be wrong. But I still think the Cubs will be a playoff team. Alright, next we have Cincinnati Reds. I think I trust them more than I trust other teams in the division. I just trust Ellie, the shortstop, TJ Fried or whatever his name is. I think that might be the guy I just said, but or Friedel. I think it's like Friedel or whatever. And didn't they just get Eugenio Suarez too? Or am I thinking of someone else? Because he's pretty good too, so I trust that core more than I trust the other two teams. And coming up next, I think I have the Pittsburgh Pirates. Paul Skeens, O'Neal Cruz, and with that, I have the Cardinals coming in last in that division. I just trust Pittsburgh a little bit more. I don't think either of these teams make playoffs this year unless Pittsburgh makes drastic trades. But at the end of the day, they have Paul Skeens, so I'm giving them the edge over St. Louis. Alright, on to the AL West. Coming in first, I have my other World Series team. I have Phillies and Seattle in the World Series. I'm going to go with that is my World Series. Both of those are going to win their division. I just think the most well-rounded team, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, I just trust them more than I trust the rest of that division. Up next, I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers. I trust them more than I trust the other three. They have lost a bit, I know they lost Adolis Garcia. I don't know who they replaced him with, but next I have the Houston Astros. And this is close between the fourth place team. I think this will be a decent division. I don't think they'll have an under 500 team. Then again, I could be wrong on that, but I think Houston just barely beats out the fourth place team. And the Oakland Athletics I think they're going to be in Vegas this year. Brent Rooker, Kurtz, I think they just have a nice score. They have a very promising future if they can play their cards right. I think they'll be in playoff contention within the next 3 to 5 years. And then they could be in World Series contention, in my opinion, in the next 5 to 7. I don't know if they will, but that's my thoughts. I think they will. And then last place, I have the Los Angeles Angels. Mike Trout, towards the end of his career, also in trade talks. Yusei Kikuchi's good, but I just don't think just a starting pitcher. They have I think it's Zach Neto, their shortstop. But a pitcher and a shortstop alone isn't going to win you a World Series or make you a contending team. Okay, and on to the final division, the NL West. Not a question. Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani, And then they got more than they lost. And they brought in Kyle Tucker. They didn't really lose anyone. Brought in some more free agents I can't remember off the top of my head. But I think the only other team I could see winning it would obviously be the second place team, which I think will also be a playoff team, and the San Diego Padres. I trust Tatis. I trust Clase, I think it is, their pitcher. Claus, or whatever his name is. I'm probably butchering that, but Manny Machado. Nick Castellanos kind of looks good at first. I don't know if he's making the opening day roster, but next I'm going to go with San Francisco. I think they beat out the fourth place team just barely. I'll talk about that more when I put the fourth up. I think Harrison Bader, Rafael Devers, I think that's just a better team all around. I don't see many of them getting traded, which brings us on to the fourth place team, the Arizona Diamondbacks. They have a promising future with Corbin Carroll. I just don't know Ketel Marte's future there. I've heard his name thrown around trade talks almost all off season. So I just don't think he'll make it to the end, and I don't think they'll get enough back for him to make a serious playoff push. And that brings us to the last place team in that division, the Colorado Rockies. I just don't trust them entirely in this division. With the Dodgers, Padres. I think they have a promising future if they play it right. But outside of that, I think this is my divisional standings. I don't remember exactly who I have in playoffs from yesterday, but you can always check that video out if you're curious. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this type of content, like the video, subscribe if you're new. Like I said yesterday, I'm going to be posting more baseball stuff all season. Might do a jersey ranking next week, maybe? I haven't fully decided on that. But subscribe if you're new, ring that notification bell, and then comment what you agree with, comment what you disagree with, if you think I'm an idiot. But with that being said, have a nice day, enjoy opening night, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.